'Twas the night before Villains Month, and all through the house, not a superhero was spotted. Not even a Mighty Mouse.
Wait, Chris?
Yes.
Mighty Mouse isn't a DC Comics character.
Oh. Well. You know what? I only have one thing to say to that, Brant. Live in your ear, it's Comic Related Recap Extra!
And welcome back to the Related Recap, 346.1, we'll say. How about that?
That works for me.
In honor of Villains Month, we'll go with the .1 instead of just calling it extra. Of course, it is the extra, so... we thought it'd be fun. It's the night before, well, sort of the night before, Villains Month at DC, as the first wave of Villains Month titles hit your stores Wednesday morning, so we thought it'd be fun to do a night before Villains Month. So, I'm Brant Fowler, by the way.
By the way, I'm Chris Ventura. You know, I'm here too. Hi.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the intro part of the intro. Sorry about that.
Whatever.
But yeah, so we're back together again after. Thank you to Mike, wherever you are out there, by the way.
He says you're welcome.
Good. And Dark Mike, I'm coming for you. But anyway. That's a DarkAvengerINC thing. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch DarkAvengerINC Live, number 8. So, there you go.
Yeah. It's going to be a long month on that end, but beside the point. Actually, there are a couple of videos. I'm sure Brant will put the links. They were on YouTube. I believe they were posted up today sometime. Somebody had a very nice park bench. And on that park bench was one of each of the Villains Month books that come out today, September 4th, 2013. I almost said 11. I don't know why.
Oh, wow. I gotta interject before you continue. I found out who posted the video.
Who?
None other than Bleeding Cool's Rich Johnson.
I'll pretend I know who that is and go, uh-huh.
Rich Johnston? He's the owner of Bleeding Cool, the guy that started it.
Oh,
the guy that
wrote him.
The guy that wrote the Lion in the Gutters column at CBR before he started his own site.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, so he's the one that bought all those covers and has the park bench there. So
that's a very nice park bench, sir. I would have one just like that if I needed one in my backyard. And it's very nice that you actually paid $500 for the Villains Month variant motion comic. Good going. Money to burn.
I would wager he could probably afford it. But anyway, go on.
I could list 500 different things I could do with that $500 he wasted on a comic cover. Just saying. Anyway, good job. Good job. So, there are videos from Bleeding Cool, and we'll be posting, I'm sure that'll be posted in the little description. And I would like to also mention that the back cover is also lenticular also.
Also, it is. Also.
Yes, also.
And 2.
Oh, yes, and 2 also. Right, you're throwing me off here.
I'm sorry.
So, the villains have won, and now the villains have to fight the villains in order to save the DC universe.
Don't. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
So, Brent, how excited are you for Villains Month?
Well, I'm gonna answer that by separating two things out. I'm excited for Forever Evil.
Okay.
Villains Month, I'm still kind of on the fence about. I'll put it like that.
Is it because of the 3D covers, or just because of the comics aren't moving forward for a month, and we're getting solo villain issues.
I don't really mind that at this point. I mean, the covers bother me, but that's a whole other issue. Story-wise, it's just, a lot of the characters, a lot of the villains that they're doing books about, I don't care about. So, I mean, some of them I do, some of them I don't. So it's kind of, I guess it's not really different in terms of, I don't know. I'm not one that is eager to rush out and buy every single book. That's just me. And I'm also not crazy about the 3D covers. So, although they do look cool. But.
Well, I'm the opposite of you on this one then, I guess, because I'm excited for the 3D covers. Some of them. I'm really excited for Villains Month to see origins on supervillains that we haven't seen yet. For example, Bizarro, Parasite, we haven't seen yet. Most of the weird thing is, it's mostly Superman's villains we haven't seen yet. Basically, every other supervillain we've seen at some point in some shape or size. Oh, and some of Green Lantern's villains, like Mongol, we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I am interested in seeing more about Relic. I'll admit that.
Yes, I think this is perfect for people who are interested in Lights Out before Lights Out happens.
Yeah. Now, are we absolutely certain that these are all origin stories, or is it?
They're not.
Okay.
Some of them, I believe, some of them involve origins, but some of them are. I don't know which ones are which, so I can't really say. But some stories are more present day with little added on stories from the past. Because Harley Quinn already had her origin story told in Suicide Squad issue 0. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing with her is instead of doing an origin, they're showing her first meeting with the Joker, and there's stuff connected to the present as well.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So not all of them are origins.
Yeah. And let me say that I'm not trying to crap on the whole Villains Month thing. I don't. Everybody knows, from listening to this show, I was very excited about Trinity War. I thought the event was done really well, which we'll talk about at the end of that in the full episode of the recap this week. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that event, and I'm excited going forward and seeing exactly what happens and how this all plays out. It's just, I don't know, the 3D covers. I remember when we first found out about them, and it was mainly the price thing that bothered us, which that still kind of bothers me because all the books are still $3.99 except unless you get the 2D covers.
And you know what makes it worse? This is something I would love to point out right now since we're talking about price. Mm-hmm. On Midtown, because DC Comics has decided, hey, we don't have enough 3D covers, so we're going to make 2D covers. The cover Bs, which are the 2D covers, which should be considered the variants, those get the 15% off still. So for $2.99, the books go down to like $2.30 something. However, the cover A's, the covers that were meant to be, the books were meant to be in, is now being considered like a variant, limited one per customer, and no 15% off. So, yes, I know I'm bitching and complaining about a couple of cents, but a couple of cents adds up when you get 3 or 4 of those 3D covers.
Yeah.
That adds up to about $2 or $3. So now they're treating the regular covers like the variants, and the variant covers, which are the 2D covers, like the regular covers. And that kind of bothers me that I wanted to get all of them in 3D. I really did. But due to the pricing, let's put it this way. The first week of September, if I got every single 3D cover along with the other books I'm buying, I would have spent $86.95.
Yeah. And yeah.
That 4 weeks of that would kill me.
Right.
So I ended up having to pick and choose. I picked the supervillains I wanted in 3D, and I changed the others to 2D, and that saved me a bunch of money, and thank God for that.
Yeah, price is definitely going to play in all month long. It's going to be a factor. But of course, a lot of the shops aren't going to have all the 3D covers anyway. So
very true. Well, I buy all my stuff on the internet. I don't know how my comic shop is going, but I heard my comic shop had a lot of them in stock because they're like a warehouse of comics.
Yeah.
So they bought a lot of the 2D covers, so they got a lot of the 3D covers.
Gotcha. Price-wise, interesting to note, the DC Comics New 52 Villains Omnibus hardcover at dcbservice.com, it's 50% off for $75.
Yeah, same thing on Amazon.
Okay. So that's something to note if anybody wants to wait and get that. So.
I think my advice in a situation like this, especially because the cover is going to be lenticular also, by the way, my advice would be honestly to wait unless you're hard up on. I need this individual book. I want to read it now. I don't want to wait a month. My advice would be what Brant just said. Buy the omnibus now. Pay $75. That's how much I spent this past week alone. Now, granted, that was with Marvel and indie books connected. It's a little bit more than what I spent, but just throw the $75 out there in one shot, and you save a bunch of money. You'll be surprised how much you're going to save.
Yeah. It just all comes down to preference, whether you want the individual issues and then whether you want the 3D covers or not. So.
Exactly.
I know that you're real excited about the 3D covers. Me, I don't know. It's just, it never, even when they first announced it was just like, yeah, okay.
You survived the 90s.
I did. So maybe that has some kind of influence over that.
Oh, and by the way, I'm on my comic shop just to find out. The 2D covers are now $3.99, and the 3D covers are $8.
Jeez.
So, yep, my comic shop is definitely taking advantage of the moment.
Oh, of course.
Oh, kudos to my comic shop. The related recap, you heard it here first. You cheeky blankety blanks.
What?
Oh, Joker's $12.
Actually, I've heard that shop. Well, that's the site for Lone Star Comics, and I've heard they're pretty good. We actually have a podcast on comic related that does some of their episodes from that store. So I don't want to really say too much about them, but yeah.
They're a very nice store. Wonderful people. Great service. I like them a lot.
But, they're, like you said, though, they're capitalizing on it, and that's what we're going to see, and that's what bothers me.
Oh, I'll make a bet on eBay. Joker alone in 3D is probably going for about $20-$30 right now, so my comic shop at least is being fair with their prices, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, that's my whole thing. That's my whole problem with stuff like this, is because it reminds me of the speculator market of the 90s, and that gives me heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I get heebie-jeebies too.
But
I wanted to find one that's, well, no, $8. The Poison Ivy sold out completely. So some of them are sold out.
Yeah.
$8 for Desaad, really?
People want these books, so.
Oh, let's see how much they want for the Forever Evil one. It's not even listed.
I mean, honestly, I'd say a lot of people are probably trying to buy up every single one and then sell them as a lot on eBay or something.
But see, that's the thing. I want to buy it. I'm different than that. I want to buy it just because it looks nice in my collection. So who gets hurt? Me.
Yeah, that's always the way with these kind of gimmicks. It's the people that just want to have them and to read them and enjoy them that kind of get screwed over, and the people that just want to make an extra dollar are the ones that get rewarded, and that's kind of what's wrong with gimmicks like this. But that's a whole other discussion.
And I don't understand DC. It's not like they're making the extra money. It's not like my comic shop paid them $8 to sell us Creeper for $8. The people who are getting the extra money are my comic shop, and yeah, there's the one I wanted, $8. Jeez. And the price tag right on the cover says $3.99.
And it's not even out yet. We're recording this before they're even in the store.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're not. Well, technically, the pre-order is over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's why we're complaining, because now it's like you're paying for the day their release price.
Yeah.
When this happens again, Brant, remind me to go on the previews and order them 2 months in advance.
Yeah, you have to with stuff like this.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't... I'm glad my comic shop has them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in case anybody missed out on buying them, you know, a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
But my God, that's almost tripling the price, almost. But that's very fair compared to if I go on eBay right now, which I'm scared.
Mm.
And I'm going to look up the same book they want $8 for.
You know, I mean, from a business perspective and supporting retailers and everything, it's really smart on their part, actually.
Mm.
It may not be completely fair to fans, but it is smart.
Actually, $148.99. Villains Month. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. All 52 3D second printings.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The second printings. No, Brant, I gotta be honest. There's they're pretty. Oh, they're all sold out in the caption. And on eBay, oh, that's the omnibus. Okay, the omnibus is $124 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are asking for $10, $12, $9, $6.50, $6.50, $12.99. That's the same price as my comic shop. Yeah, no, wow, I'm actually shocked. They're being sensible. The first week, $56 somebody's asking for.
Yeah, that'll change as demand changes.
Yeah, and that's on bids, by the way. They're bidding for it.
Gotcha.
That could change in an instant.
Mm-hmm. My fear with this thing is if it's really successful and it continues to sell out like that all, you know, Marvel and DC are both going to continue doing stuff like this, and it's, you know, it almost killed the industry once. I don't want it to do that again.
I don't blame you.
But, you know, all that aside, I'm still curious, you know, I want to know more about the new 52 version of these villains, and, you know, going forward, I mean, they're going to be very important this month, obviously. So.
And also, I will say it is reintroducing some supervillains, like I said, that we haven't seen since the new 52 started, which was now 2 years ago.
Right.
The 24th issue is coming out in October, so we'll be at our 2-year mark in October.
Yeah.
Issue-wise. Technically, we are at the 2-year mark right now. The issue zeros pushed us back one number.
Right.
So, we're technically at the 2-year mark.
Yep. So, 2 years of New 52. John Wilson, out there, if you're listening, it ain't going away.
No, it's way too successful now. Now I can say, if they're throwing out 3D covers and saying, hey, we know you guys want this, yeah, it ain't going anywhere.
At least not
but
for a while. Yeah.
I will defend in this and only this case. I noticed the more popularity the DC Universe is getting, the more little pieces here, there, and everywhere that the old DC Universe is starting to pop up in the comic books.
Yeah.
Little things. So, it may be new, but the old is still finding a way through.
Yeah. They have to keep, I mean, if they're going to keep certain elements of these characters' background and everything, they kind of have to. But yeah, I mean, that's a nice treat to fans. You know, they're kind of giving the best of both worlds in a way. Or they're trying.
Exactly. They're trying to put it... It's the new DC Universe, but they're trying to gift wrap it with little For example, I'm going to give an example from this last week's Teen Titans 23. Everybody was complaining about, first of all, Bunker, which I had no problem with the character. I thought he was very nice. And that Wonder Girl might be with Red Robin instead of Superboy. Well, Bunker's leaving, or gone, and the Superboy Wonder Girl romance is now back.
Yeah,
bits and pieces.
Exactly. And I think it's a case of have a little faith. It's not going to be as bad as you think, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm working on an article about stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean it took them a while to get there, admittedly, because I think a lot of us when they first started this, it was not gelling, and it took them a while to find their stride with this new version of the universe, and start to get things to fall into place. But I think they've turned a corner, and things are really starting to come together.
Absolutely. I was one of the people that was not picketing, but I was one of the people that was, when I heard that there was going to be a protest at San Diego Comic-Con the year they announced the reboot, I was one of the people that was like, yeah, protest the hell out of it. Make sure DC hears you, and maybe, hopefully, the protesters will get through. 2 years later, I'm not saying it's not that bad. When they started this, it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It got better.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of growing pains. A lot of growing pains with the, I don't know, they changed everything so drastically that it was hard to reconnect with it. And especially, for longtime fans like yourself, and for people like me that were fairly new to the universe, that were just getting used to things, for both sides of the fence, it was like you just ripped out everything and replaced it with something that I have no idea what you're talking about, who these people are. And, thankfully, like you said, after 2 years, they finally, started throwing in elements and started telling some really good stories here and there, and everything's starting to flow a lot better. And
well, I'm sure in a year or two we'll be cursing and complaining about DC Comics. It's just the way it is, you know? Right now we hate Marvel, but who knows, in a year or two Marvel will do so. Well, I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say we.
Yeah, you should.
I complain about Marvel this year. Next year, Marvel could come around and do like this amazing thing, and their entire universe is awesome. And DC could turn around and completely mess up something else that changes their entire universe for a bit, and I'll be complaining about that and saying DC doesn't know what the heck they're doing. It's just it's a revolving door. Sometimes Marvel's on the bad end, and sometimes DC's on the bad end. Something to note for those of you that are interested in starting to read comics: the indie companies are never on the bad end.
But
just note.
Also, if you just instead of just following one company or the other, if you follow the books that you like, they don't tend to, for the most part, they don't tend to
disappoint.
Be on that kind of teetering scale either.
Agreed.
So, if you're a Daredevil fan, if you're a Mark Waid Daredevil fan, that hasn't really gone off the rails yet. 30 issues in, so stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I read both. I read both companies and indies.
Yep.
So that's just me.
Yeah. That's I think most fans these days are like that. I think back in the day it was you're either a Marvel or you're a DC, just like you're either a Mac or a PC kind of thing. And
exactly.
The reason somebody made those videos, I'm a Marvel, I'm a DC, which were hilarious. But
I love those.
I know. And it was kind of funny, by the way. This is a total aside, but you just had your 200th comic review.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking that the whole time you and Mike were recording, because Mike was wearing a Spider-Man shirt and you were wearing a Superman shirt. And I was sitting there looking at you guys, and it was running through my mind, I'm a Marvel, I'm a DC, the whole time.
We should have done something like that on the 200th.
Yeah. So, but back in the day, even I was just a Marvel guy. I didn't read DC. Every once in a while, I would dip my toe over there, pick something up, but I was a Marvel guy. But these days I think everybody kind of reads just what they want to read. They don't pick and choose sides, except for some of the older Older readers probably still do, but
Yeah. But one thing I gotta say, and I gotta complain about the old readers, and before anybody who's an old reader attacks me, because I know I'll probably get attacked by one or two if I don't say this, I'm an old reader. I've been reading for over 10 years, so that officially makes me a old reader. And I fell into this category until I realized it and snapped myself out of it. Old readers have to stop being so damn rigid. That's the problem. If things don't go, if they change something so drastically, even if it's temporary, well, looks like this is my last issue. It was a good run, or, well, it's not my universe anymore, so I'm not going to bother reading it. I understand because I felt the same way with DC Comics, so I sympathize with that, but at the same time, you're not hurting yourself because DC Comics is still making the new DCU, and Spider-Man is still Doc Ock, and Dan Slott is still beating me in Bejeweled Blitz. That's a double bad thing.
yeah, no, I agree, and I've been reading how many years now?
Oh, I thought you were going to agree and say Dan Slott stole your Spider-Man and your first place in Bejeweled Blitz, but okay then, because I was about to say you didn't beat me yet.
I've never played Bejeweled Blitz in my life. Oh, shoot. But no,
it's addicting.
I've been reading comics, I don't know, God, 30 years? Something like that, close to it. So, yeah, and like I said, I used to be like that. I used to be die-hard Marvel guy, but I don't think I was ever, okay, if they change this, well, no, that's not true either. When, what's his name? When J. Mike Straczynski took over Amazing Spider-Man, I quit reading it. But that's beside the point.
When J. Mike Straczynski took over Superman, it did hurt him for a while. Did he? Yeah, he did. He hurt him for a while.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know, it's just, fans are so passionate about these characters that it's, you know, anything that's drastically different, it's hard to take, but at the same time, like you said, it's just like weather in Kentucky, for instance, and people that live in Kentucky or are familiar with Kentucky or any surrounding state will be able to understand this. If you don't like the weather, it'll change in 5 minutes. It's kind of like that with comics. If you don't like the story right now, just come back in a couple of months and it'll be something different. So.
Yeah, but I think that there's a difference between passion and stubbornness.
Oh, I agree.
People who are like, you know what, this isn't my universe. Pardon my language. Screw off. I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. Call me when the old universe comes back, or call me when my superhero, the way I remember it and only I remember it, comes back. Then I'll start reading it again or doing it again.
No, I agree with you, and I have some friends that are like that, and I've had this conversation with them directly. You know, I think it's very short-sighted. Personally, that's my opinion. They're going to have theirs. They're going to approach it the way they want to. You know, that's your prerogative. If you don't want to read them anymore, that's fine. That's
yep.
But, you know, I disagree with that mentality wholeheartedly.
Exactly. And the stories continue on regardless. And you know what? 5 years from now, when you see how good the story... I hated the Energy Superman. I was, once again, I didn't even read comics at the time, and I said I will never pick up a Superman book again until the old Superman came back. Do you know what I did the second I bought the comic where the old Superman came back? I went back in time and I bought every single Energy issue they ever made.
No. So, I don't know. It's just, I don't get that mentality, and they probably don't get ours. So it's one of those things.
No, it's just this is how it is. They say this is how my universe is. If this is not my universe, I'm not reading it. Mm-hmm. And DC Comics and Marvel Comics are saying, hey, fine, we've billions of people compared to a good handful, which is not even 1,000 people who don't want to read anymore. I mean, the math says, you know.
And, I mean, I do understand that frustration, but at the same time, everything has to come to an end, everything has to change, everything has to adapt, and it's just a matter of whether you can accept that and move on with it and, you know, take a chance on it or not.
Listen, if I could live with what they've done to Superman and hold my tongue and not squawk as much as I would love to, and if I was ever asked by a DC comic representative, what would you change about Superman? What would you have? What would you want us to fix? I'd have one of those little lists that comes out of my pocket, and I fling it open, and it rolls down the convention floor and reaches the other side of the convention and keeps going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same thing with me and Spider-Man.
There you go.
But at the same time, I still read Superior Spider-Man, and I like it. So.
And I still read Superman, and if I like the story arc, I say it. And Superman Unchained and Adventures of Superman are amazing, and Adventures of Superman is my version of Superman, actually. So I got what I want, and DC gets what they want, the new Superman.
So.
Give and get.
Yeah.
We went completely off subject.
Yeah, but it was a good sidetrack. It's fine. We tend to do that here at Comic Related on our podcast anyway. So
we tend to do that all the time. People are starting to get used to that.
Yeah. So
we're like two old men. We reminisce about things and we just go off. We're like the Ric Flairs at the WWE 2K14. I wasted an hour and 12 minutes of my life listening to that man, but we'll talk about that on Hall of Toys.
Indeed. Woo!
Don't ever do that again. I've officially lost all respect for somebody who goes on. I'm not. If you want to know my reaction, Hall of Toys. Hall of Toys. Episode 10.
Yep. Which is delayed, but it will be airing eventually.
The streak is still going.
Oh, shoot. So, yeah. But the topic at hand is Villains Month. And the today, as you're later, just in a few short hours, it begins in earnest with the books in your local comic shops, as everyone will start to talk about them as soon as they hit the shelves, I'm sure.
Yep. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the list of books. In my case, I'm getting every single one of the Villain Month's books, since there is the option for 2D, and 2D is a lot cheaper. So I'll be getting every single Villains Month book, but certain books I'll be getting in 3D, certain books I'll be getting in 2D, and Brant will be mentioning the books that he's interested in getting. I don't know how you're doing the 3. Are you getting them in 3D if you can, or you're going to go for the 2D covers and save for more books?
Probably I'll be forced to save at this point. But
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
And, as far as getting them all, we'll see. I mean, it depends on what plans are as far as coverage for them that we'll talk about later, because we do tend to like to cover events completely, so we'll see.
Yes. Well, on Dark Avenger Inc., I will put this little plug in. We have all the 52 Villains books. We will be covering each and every one. We've got the first week of books completely covered. Next week's books completely covered. The last 2 weeks we do not have up yet to divide amongst ourselves, but we are going to make sure to cover each and every book.
Mm-hmm.
So everything will be covered on Dark Avenger Inc., and it will definitely be posted on Comic Related, as well as there is stuff on Comic Related as well.
Yeah, we're actually we're doing our own version of Villains Month over at Comic Related all month long for the month of September. Highlighting various villains, not just from DC, but also from other companies as well. John kicked us off on Sunday, on September 1st.
Cyborg Superman. Awesome stuff. Loved that article. Loved it.
He also did another article before that showcased some lame villains, which was kind of funny. But, so we got that, and we got some stuff that Chris and I both posted as well. It's already up there, and Chuck will be jumping into the mix as well. So all kinds of cool stuff.
Wish John and Chuck would do... I know that, even though that Dark Avenger Inc. is connected with Comic Related, I wish John and Chuck would jump into the video stuff, and they could do videos on Inc. Talking about Villains Month. We would have loved to have them, to collaborate with.
Calling them out in public, I got it. I feel it.
They're welcome to do videos on Inc. anytime they want. I've already put it out there. They got the password, and if they don't got it, you got it, and you can give it to them. They can post a video on anything they want, provided it's comic related. Because Lord knows I've had to cut Mike short a few times on some weird videos he wanted to do. Mike, my brother, not Mike Spider Slayer.
Yeah. But yeah, so who knows? Never say never.
Exactly. I'm not I know John has a camera, and I know Chuck has a camera.
Yep. So, who knows what we'll come up with? We've got a whole month, so we'll see.
Oh yeah. And speaking of month, let's talk about the books that are coming out today.
Yes, September 4th, 2013. First week of Villains Month. Yeah.
I'm going to only list the Villains Month books. There are some really great other books coming out. For example, Batman Black and White #1. And
Necessary Evil, the Villains graphic novel.
Yep, Necessary Evil, Legends of the Dark Knight. Well, Scooby-Doo, where are you? That's more of a, if you're into those kind of books.
Yeah. And we have to mention Forever Evil, obviously.
Yes. Forever Evil is not counted in the 52 books, though. Forever
Right.
Evil #1 is its own book.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it all kicks off. And then we go into the villains, which are for September 4th, and then Brant, I guess you'll do September 11th.
Yeah, I do want to mention one more book that we mentioned all the others. We might as well mention this one too.
Okay.
DC Universe versus the Masters of the Universe #1 comes out.
Yes, I don't believe I missed that. Yeah.
So, all right.
That's going to be a big book also. That's going to be huge.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, your villains for September 4th, the first week of Villains Month, are Cyborg Superman, Joker, Two-Face. I'm not going to give the names of the comics. I'm just going to give the villains, unless you would like me to do that, Brad? No? Okay.
No, it's fine. We'll if nothing else, we'll list the link.
Okay. The Ventriloquist, Poison Ivy, Desaad, Count Vertigo, Relic, Darkseid, Creeper, Deathshot, or Deadshot. I call him Deathshot all the time. Bizarro. I'm sorry?
You're trying to say Deathstroke and Deadshot at the same time.
Exactly. All the time. Bizarro, and finally, Gorilla Grodd.
Yes.
And that is your first week of comics. Brant, which ones are you looking forward to getting?
Okay, the ones I'm looking forward to, Joker. Let's see. Joker, Darkseid, Relic. And those are the main ones. I mean, that's not necessarily everything I'm going to get, but those are the main ones I'm, excited about.
Yeah. Me, I'm getting anything that's Superman or Green Lantern related. I'm getting those in 3D.
Okay.
I got Grodd, Deathshot, Creeper, Desaad, Count Vertigo, because it's Mike's book anyway. No, that's just a joke. And the Ventriloquist in 2D, and Two-Face I got in 2D as well. The books I'm getting in 3D are basically the supervillain books that I would enjoy seeing in 3D. So I'm limiting myself. I try to cut it in half, where I'm getting 7 and 6, you know, because it's 13 books a week, except for 1 week, which we'll get into. So I try to cut it in half, where of course the 3D covers outweigh the 2D covers by 1. But beside the point, it's expensive.
Yeah. As far as the 3D covers go, the ones I think are visually interesting. The Joker one we've already seen so much that I'm kind of sick of it by now, because it was the first one that they showed. But,
very true.
Yeah, I love the Darkseid one.
Yep.
The Relic one I think is actually pretty cool. And
I'm surprised you didn't say that the Darkseid one you're kind of sick of seeing. That was the one that they actually showed all the time on the internet for the 2D movement.
I don't know. I like that cover better. The Joker, the ha-ha-has in the background just got old. It's very busy. So, I don't know. It just got old to me. And the Flash one, the Gorilla Grodd one, I think is kind of cool.
I regret getting Deadshot in 2D. That is the only one I regret, and I'm going to make triple sure when I make my orders from now on, I know which ones I want in 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good one, too, because it has the other various... is that the that's JLA?
That's Justice League of America, yeah. No, I liked it for the bullets. I figured that
okay.
the 3D and the bullets would have been really nice to see the I was gonna say shading because technically in art it is shading, but to see the 3D effect of how the bullets are like coming towards you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you say which version did you get for Bizarro? 3D.
3D. Anything Superman related, I'm getting in 3D.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that one's pretty cool too because it's got the wisps of smoke and ice and stuff all around.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
All right, so Brant, you want to do next week's?
Yeah. Well, let me get there.
Remember Zod, because that's on the first page.
Yeah. All right, so for September 11th, 2013, we have Zod, as you just mentioned. Black. No, that's okay. Black Manta, the Riddler. We have the Court of Owls. Let's see. Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, Solomon Grundy, Mongol, Lobo. Is that Killer Frost?
Yes.
Okay. Brainiac, Trigon, and Reverse Flash. So, which ones of these are you getting?
I'm getting
the 3D.
Yeah, I knew exactly what you meant.
Okay.
I'm getting Reverse Flash, anything Superman, anything Green Lantern, Riddler, Harley Quinn, and possibly Lobo in 3D.
Oh. Lobo.
I probably won't. I'll probably switch Lobo out with Killer Frost, because Killer Frost is more interesting.
Interesting to note that the Lobo character on the cover is not the new Lobo, it's the fake Lobo.
And, you know, that pisses me off because that's the original Lobo.
Yeah.
They're actually undoing what they did in the old 52.
Yeah.
Or the old universe, I should say.
Mm-hmm. For me, again, I'll go visually. 3D cover-wise, Zod, definitely.
Yes.
Black Manta. I think that one's really cool. Where's the other one I saw? Brainiac one's okay. And the Reverse Flash one. I think it's really cool.
I think everybody's going to be running for the Reverse Flash one. I think that's the one that's going to sell out first, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can totally see that. That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
So the next week?
Next week, which is September 18th, we have Lex Luthor, Penguin, Ra's al Ghul. I hope I said that right.
Yep.
Hold on. Clayface, Scarecrow, Black Hand, Dial E, Eclipso, Shadow Thief, L, Arcane, Deathstroke, the Rogues, and Cheetah. The Cheetah, they're calling her now, apparently.
Okay.
So what books are you getting, Brant?
Definitely Lex.
Mm-hmm.
Love that cover. I actually love the simplicity of the Penguin one.
Nah, that's the one I'm definitely getting in 2D. I don't like it.
You don't like that? I like the simplicity of it. Oh no. Let's see. Scarecrow. Because you got the crows flying around.
Mm-hmm.
What? You disagree?
No, I was gonna say I actually was gonna get Scarecrow, but I decided to switch it with Eclipso because I like the way his jewel is giving off the like lightning bolts.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say that one looked cool too. And the Rogues. Just cause
Absolutely, the Rogues and Deathstroke, and maybe Cheetah.
Yeah, the Cheetah one's cool too.
Arcane and Shadow Thief, Dial E, Scarecrow, Clayface. I could live with them in 2D. Maybe Clayface I'll get in 3D. It all depends. It all depends.
I'm so sick of Clayface at this point.
That's why I'm saying it all depends. It really all depends.
Yeah. So,
Batman has way too many rogues. That's why I'm saying I'm picking and choosing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, so the final week. Or you want me to start, or do you want to say anything else?
No, that's it. I was done.
All right. We have Metallo. We have Ocean Master, Bane, Killer Croc, Doomsday, as the page loads for me, Joker's Daughter, Man-Bat, Sinestro, the Secret Society?
Yeah.
It's cut off for me there. Black Adam, and Parasite, and the Firstborn.
This week, I think I'm going to indulge on a couple of extra 3D covers because I'm getting all the Superman ones. I want to get the Secret Society, Black Adam, the daughter of Joker's daughter, and Killer Croc, along with who was next to Killer Croc?
Bane, Doomsday.
No, that's it. Doomsday was the other one.
Okay. For me, Ocean Master definitely. Big Aquaman fan, and I love that cover with the water.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I might get Ocean Master just because it would be cool to see the water effect.
Yeah. Doomsday, definitely. Let's see. Sinestro, Black Adam. Yeah, those are the main ones for me.
Yeah.
So, very cool though. Firstborn. Jeez. I don't even read.
No, I'm getting in 2D. If I could get it in 1D, I'd buy it in 1D.
Shoot. So yeah, that's your Villains Month books, and they're like Chris mentioned, they're coming out. The first 2 weeks are 13 titles. The third week has 14, and the last week has 12, I believe. Is how we figured it out. Yeah.
So I think I'm excited for this, and I think if DC does it right, in 2 years, because it looks like they're doing little things every 2 years. Because last year was the 0 issues. It seems every year in September they have something special planned. If this goes as well as the 0 issues, I'm looking forward to September next year from DC.
Yeah, I think they actually stated that at some point that every year as like kind of an anniversary thing of the New 52 that they were going to do something in September like this. So who knows what next year will bring us.
If they make a pop-out book, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to sit out of that one. The day I open up a comic book and things just pop up, like the pop-up books, that's when I know there's something wrong with me.
So who knows, maybe they'll hold their events to once a year around this time. That would be interesting. That'd be a new take.
I think that, honestly, I like it better when their events are years apart.
Mm-hmm. Makes them more special.
I could take a skip. Make a skip year.
I don't mind if they're a year apart. I just don't like the what we've gotten used to over the past, decade, where they, stacked events on top of each other, like Marvel.
No, that's Marvel's job now. Marvel's doing that.
Yeah, but DC was doing it too before the New 52.
Yeah, so. And that's why they did the New 52 to stop that.
So
Marvel knew. Marvel knew is coming. Just take the O out, put an E in there. Marvel knew.
But I'd like to get back to that because it makes the events that much more special.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they want to do any like little event for a specific character like Superman or whatnot, which they are doing, just keep it in their book, like Batman too.
Yeah, exactly.
Except Batman's starting to reach out to other books, which is kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, but I mean, it's like what was I about to say? I had a thought and it just totally left me. Oh well.
Grab it. Run after it. Bring it back.
I don't know. It's gone.
We were talking about one event a month.
Yeah, it had something to do with that. I just can't remember what exactly I was going to say. But
the freshness.
It's gone. Oh well. Oh no, I know what I was going to say. No, it's like the Trinity War. It was a great story. It, had great writing, great art, and everything. But I think also part of the appeal to that was because they waited almost 2 years before they had an event.
Yep. So it all depends on how long they wait.
Yep. So, Villains Month. Let us know in the comments below what you're getting, what you're excited for, if you're going to be picking up 3D covers, or if you're just going to stick with 2Ds, or even wait for the omnibus. We'd love to hear from you.
I'll be honest. Anybody who's picking up all the 3D covers, pick me up an extra one. I wouldn't complain. I'll say you gave it to me.
And this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. I mean, like, absolutely nothing to do with anything. But I have to mention this because it was kind of cool. I saw this photo on Facebook today, and it does tie into DC Comics, so there is that connection. But this kid said, this guy said, he was talking about his kid, and he said, what do I think of my kid? He's the world's finest. And then it shows a picture of the kid, and he's wearing a Batman jogging suit with a zip down, and underneath it was a Superman t-shirt, so the Batman symbol was open up onto the Superman symbol.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's going to wrap up this extra, I think. I don't think there's anything else we need to say.
Nope. I'm good.
Yeah, so that was your Villains Month pre-podcast, 346.1. The related recap extra. So many titles for this episode. That's fair.
We have like a million titles. Stick around long enough, you'll get like the related recap extra with talk of this, and that, and then that, this, and that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to title this the related recap extra.
Extra.
Number 346.1 Villains Month.
There you go.
Pre-show. Just make it as long
Preview.
as I possibly can. There you go. Oh, shit. So yeah, that's going to wrap us up then, and of course we have to thank the official band of the related recap, the Yellow Belts.
Still better than the white belts.
And the green belts. I don't know. I don't know how that...
No, green belt is after
Okay.
yellow belt. The green belt is still better than them, I'm sorry.
Well, Yellow Belts is still cool.
Yes. The green belts don't know how to play music.
There you go. That's all that matters.
I hope there really isn't a green belt. This is bad. That would be so bad.
It would be bad. But yeah, got to thank the Yellow Belts. They've been the house band of the related recap forever, and they still continue to intro us into the episode. So thank you. And if you have any comments, questions for us, you can leave them in the comments below, please, or you can email us at Brant or Chris at comicrelated.com.
And we will get back to you.
I thought maybe you'd add something else there, but okay.
And we want and we would like free comics. No, I'm just kidding. Also, don't forget to check out Dark Avenger Inc. on YouTube. We have Villains Month theme, just like comic related, and we're going to be covering each and every book, like I said. And we also have a special show planned once a week, rounding up all the comics or Villains Month Villain Month one-shots of that specific week. You'll see with this first week. Website's going. We still have a couple of tiny, itty-bitty, little, itsy, teeny-weeny little bugs, and then we'll be ready to launch the website. And, yeah.
Yeah, so, and also, Zone 4, every Friday. Check that out, zone4podcast.com, and of course, right here on comicrelated.com. And have no idea what we're talking about.
Hall of Toys.
Yeah.
Listen to Hall of Toys on zone4podcast.com.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Subscribe to everything.
Yes. And that is everything. So, if it's comic related,
we will find a way to make a song up about it.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Happy Villains
everybody.
Month.